Today's August the 29th, 2024. And this last video I made about the harmonic profile of the EL34 versus the KT88, here's the KT88s, was so interesting. I'm going to take this a little bit further. Here's one of the ones that I tested yesterday. We'll do it once more just to have it part of the same documentation. The other one I've tested right here. Here it is in the TV7DU, because somebody might legitimately ask, well, you know, is it strong and everything? And yes, it is. It's plugged in. Everything's all set up. Blah, blah. And we test it, and it measures 44 out of 30. I had written on it 46 out of 30 once upon a time. They both test very strong. I wanted to show you how one of them is. I'm not going to take this down the rabbit hole of doing all of them again, but okay. What I have in there right now are some KT77s, which is a version of the EL34. Okay, now this one doesn't count. We've already done that one. This one I'm going to put over here. I'm going to put the camera on the tripod here in a minute. And let me show you some others I have here. I have some here that say made in Great Britain and have RCA labels. So they're probably the same, but we'll test them. I have another pair here that have tested real good, and they say they're made in Germany. So we'll see how they do. So now we've actually got 4 sets of tubes. 1, 2, 3, which is the ones that are in there. 4. And last but not least, there were some questions asked about KT66s, and I have some pretty KT66s. So we'll put them in. We will have to lower the cathode current on them because they're not near as strong. I don't think we need to go back to the KT88s. Don't want to make the thing too long. Now, someone asked why the 60 milliamps per tube. Well, that's a good compromise. I made a comment in there about the Dynaco amplifiers, how I compared them to them. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to keep them at 60 milliamps per tube. Very well balanced. And here's what we're going to start seeing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera here on the tripod. I don't want to take it off because I don't like to. It just takes longer and longer and longer to make these things go together in the when I sew them together in that Microsoft Movie Maker or whatever it's called. And what I'm going to do is just read off what I see up here, right here. I'm going to read off power right here. And again, I'm going to read off THD right here. And you'll just have to take my word for it. Unless I pick it up and show you what it is. But the video is going to be about this. It's going to be about the harmonic profile, as the first one was. Okay, lights out. Here we go. I've got a note here. I'm going to test them at 1, 10, 20, 40, and 50 watts. Okay, 1 watt. Because this is all nicely warmed up. It'll be probably a half hour between each one. Of course, it'll be seconds for you viewing these, but there's 1 watt. That's as pure, practically as pure as a sine wave coming out of that Tektronix oscillator. Okay, the next stop is 10 watts. And you're going to see something right here. You're going to go, really? Okay, here's 10 watts. Well, here again, this is something worth noticing. I'm going to stretch this out so we can see it a little bit better. But we want to see all the way out to 50 kilohertz is what's really important. What's really amazing about this is how big the second harmonic is in a push-pull amplifier. So these pentodes are very, very special. And you can't deny it's a lot bigger than the third. With the 6L6 family of tubes, the second harmonic would be way down here. just like theoretically it's supposed to be, but there's something about this EL34 design that gives it that characteristic, which I think a lot of people like. People love that second harmonic. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the full thing here because we want to see it all the way up to 50 kilohertz. Also, I pressed this, that starts it writing again, so we don't have to wait till it finishes. Okay, that's 10 watts. The next stop is 20 watts. Now, I don't know if you remember that other one, but the other one went into full harmonics at about 17 watts, the British-made tubes. These are the Russian-made tubes. That's 20 watts. Next is 40. Because, you know, there's a concern, how does it sound down kind of low? There's 40 watts. THD is 0.38. The THD is very low. I'm sorry I didn't read it out a while ago. I don't want to go back and belabor it too much. 40 watts, 0.38% THD. 40 watts. Okay, we'll go to 50. That's where we measured everything last night. And amazingly, there's 50. Actually, it went to 51. THD is 0.45. So these perform very different from the British ones, from the Mullards. Now, I'm going to run it up to 1% because that's what we were running it at last night. That just happened to be where 50 watts came out to 1%. I'm going to run it up to 1% THD, and I'll show you here. I'll pick up the camera and show you a little bit here. Okay, that's 62 watts. Now it looks pretty much like the British made one, right? See, looky here at the power. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my goodness, where is it? There it is, 62 watts. And the THD is up here at, I see it's around 1.0, 1.1, whatever. Come on, focus. There you go, 1. Okay? That's it. Zoom back out here. Okay, that is the Genelex goal line. We had to run them up to 62 watts to get them to look like the other ones. Okay? That's that. Now, I'm going to have to stop, cool it down, swap tubes, and we'll do another set. Okay, we're set up again with the ones that are said made in Germany. See those 2 orange dots I put on the top of them? I do that when I find things are really good. That's where I mark my stuff. You know, I use fingernail polish. It does, fingernail polish is great for a lot of things. Okay, zoom in, get started again here. Okay. Alright, lights out. And our first stop is a watt. Sorry, I'm going as fast as I can here. I will not overshoot it here too bad. Okay, whoops. Okay, there's a watt. Let's rewrite it. So there we go. Very clean. Super duper clean. All we got is the fundamental. Okay, the next stop is 5 watts. There's 5 watts. Let's start it writing clean. There it is with that big second harmonic compared to the third. Okay. Next is 10. 10 watts. Start a fresh scan there. Not much difference between 5 and 10. 20, 40, and 50. Let's go to 20. There's 20 watts. Still nice and clean, huh? 20, okay. Go up to 40. Clean sweep. It's getting there, isn't it? It's starting to get those harmonics out there. And next stop is 50 watts. 50 watts. Clear it. Well, it's still kind of amazing. It's up to 0.55% THD, 50 watts. Actually, those first ones I tried with actually the weaker ones, weren't they? Okay, let's run it up to 1%. What we did last night. And at 1%, it's 58 watts. And at 1%, it looks like it's got that profile that we have been seeing. We saw on the mullards. So there we go. Well, you know what? This just tells us what we all know. Every tube sounds different. Now, I don't have that kind of a trained ear like a musician does, but in most cases I do hear it. I do have a preference for tubes. I always loved the black plate 6L6s. I always just thought they sounded so good. Well, anyway, that's 0.904 at 58 watts. And that, my friends, turn on the light, that is the EL34 made in Germany. Okay, next, well, I guess we'll do the ones labeled RCA, British, because they're probably going to be the same as the other ones, but we got to do them. Right back. Okay, now we have the RCA labeled made in Britain ones. I expect them to look just like the first ones that I did the video on yesterday, but we shall see. I will also mention that they all come up really close to one another. The KT88s, they all seem to know what they're doing. Alright, where was she? Well, anyway. Let's do 1 watt. Come on, 1 watt. 1 watt. Super clean. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Really nice picture there. Okay, 1 watt. 5 and 10. 5 watts. No third harmonic at all. So literally every tube does sound different, don't they? There we go, 10 watts. That's what that is. 20, 30, and 50. Okay, now we'll go to 20. Whoops, let's look at it. A little bit past it, 20. Clear it. Looky there. That's those mullards, isn't it? Because remember how they were? They had kind of, the first set had a sensitive point around about 17 watts. We're at 20 now. THD's at 0.4. 20. I'm just going to go to, instead of 40, I'm going to go to 25. I bet this is where it starts looking, that's where these mullards start doing what mullards do. Yep, there it is, just like those mullards I posted last night. Okay, let's go up to 40 watts. Watts, clear right. THD is 0.808. Yeah, well, we're getting that full spectrum. Once you pass about 20 watts or so, that's, I mean, we got to expect some of them to be sort of different from one another. Okay, now let's go up to 50 watts. 0.868%. Let's clear right. Get a clean sweep. 50 watts. And that's where they want to max. Wow, look at there, they went away. Can you believe that? Well, fancy that. At 50 watts, 0.87 now. Let's go back down to 40 watts. Yeah, well, see, that's the way they did yesterday on the Mullards. These are Mullards, no doubt. That's 41 watts at 0.8%. Okay, I'm going to go back up to 50. This is weird. It cleans up. Still 0.88%. You know, that bounces around ever so slightly. Wow, it cleaned up. Well, that puzzles me. I'm going to push it all the way up to 1%, a full 1%. Okay, that's 64.8 watts, 65 watts. And then a clear sweep here. Okay, this one, these got serious. The British made ones labeled RCA got serious up at 64.8 watts at 1% THD. See, I want you to see these numbers. See the 65 right there? That's the power in watts. And right up there, that 1.021, whatever, it's flickering around a little bit. See that? 1.009. That's the THD. Well, I'm not disappointed in any of this. I'm actually kind of inspired by it. That I'm going to turn it down. That's why we say they all sound so darn different. Okay. Well, let's stop it and see what's next. Okay, just for fun, we're going to do the, you see those KT66s? I had to lower the cathode current. I changed it down to 50 milliamps per tube because, you know, a 606 has a filament that's 6.3 volts at 900 milliamps, 0.9 amps. EL34, the KT88s have, they're 6.3 volts, but they're 1.5. And I've even had some say 1.8 amps. So anyway, they're a lot larger filament cathode. Alright, let's turn the lights out. And be kind to it. We don't blow it up. This is a pretty powerful little amp. Let's run it up to 1 watt. Let's give it the same treatment as a while ago. There's our 1 watt. Looks like something right out of an oscillator, huh? Okay, let's go up to 10 watts. 10 watts. There's 10 watts. THD is 0.2. I'm not going to run it past 1%. 10, okay, 20 watts. Let's go to 20 watts. There's 20 watts. Clear right. That's it. It just doesn't have any of those extended harmonics, does it? Okay. Now remember, we're dealing with 6L6, so we can go to 30 watts. We know it can do 30 watts. Let's do a clear right. It's at 0.48%. See, and it's the classic. Let's extend this thing out. It's the classic push-pull amplifier with a second harmonic lower. How about that? Okay, that's 30 watts. Let's go to 40 watts. I think probably can do 40. That's 0.63%, so it's doing pretty good. Yeah, it's performing like what you think. It just doesn't have any of those high order harmonics. That's 40. It's 0.631%. Very steady. I'm going to run it up to 1%. There's 1%. 54 watts. That's about all. That's more than you could really expect out of some 6L6s. Well, it's getting pretty froggy up there, isn't it? It's beginning to look like an EL34. That's 1%. 54 watts. Yeah, I'll have to show you that. So you know I'm not woofing you. There's 54 watts. And its THD is right up there if it'll focus. See, 0.9, whatever it is, 0.9, right below 1%. Oops. There it is. That's the harmonic profile. If we keep it down below 50 watts, I mean, KT66s aren't the, you know, the powerhouse of all tubes. That's what it really shouldn't be. I don't really think you should press a 6L6 past about 40 watts. I'm going to run it back down to 40. I'd say that's yep, second harmonic is down. And we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got about to the 9th harmonic, and then it just kind of like right there. That's the 9th harmonic, and it just basically stops. Well, I don't see any sense in going any further. I did an experiment similar to this a long time ago, but I don't think I had this 3580A spectrum analyzer then. So I wasn't able to make all these harmonic profiles. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm having fun doing it and documenting it while I still can. Thanks for watching it and all your comments. I really enjoy you guys. You're a great bunch.